I'm getting packed up tonight and ready to head out to Portland tomorrow. I'm a little bit nervous because there is a World Cup match in Seattle tomorrow at noon, and my train leaves at 8:55 from a station that is like across the street from the stadium where they're doing the soccer match. So public transit could be absolutely packed. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get to the train station like an hour before the train leaves, which would be 4 hours before the match starts. So I'm really hoping that I will avoid the match traffic, but we'll see. So I'm packing. I need to work on packing my lunch and snacks for tomorrow, and then there'll be a few like toiletry things that need to get packed tomorrow morning. The reason that I'm headed down to Portland is both for fun, and also a friend of mine's partner is having a baby shower in Portland on Saturday, and I have Juneteenth off, so I thought that I'd make a 24-hour trip of it. I've done the drive to Portland several times. My sister used to live in Eugene, so I've driven even further than that in one day, but it is not my favorite, and I've had friends tell me that the train to Portland is super fun. It's about 3.5 hours, and if I don't have to drive, I can sit and read and get up and stretch my legs, which is important. And then I'm staying at the Heathman Hotel in downtown Portland, which has not huge, but like a library wall that should be fun to check out in their lobby. And then they're just a few blocks from Powell's, so I'll be checking out Powell's for sure. And then also there is a romance novel bookstore called Grand Gesture Books I want to check out, as well as a Mox Boarding House location. That's a local chain of board game restaurants, so I want to hopefully get some Magic the Gathering cards. I went to a Mox location up here and they didn't have any Lord of the Rings or Bloomburrow, so I'm hoping that they have some of those decks. And then I'll be going to the baby shower, and some friends from the area who are also coming to the baby shower will be giving me a ride back. So I don't have much time, which is fine because I won't have a car, but I'm just gonna hit up the area around the hotel and really make a bookish weekend of it. The books on my TBR are an ARC, The Scarlet Ball by Nevo. Nevo is one of my favorite authors, and I was actually lucky enough to get an ARC of her other book that came out this year, Along with Speaking Silence. There it is. So The Scarlet Ball comes out in, I think, October, so I have time, but I didn't want to bring a ton of books on the train, but I also don't have a ton of books on my e-reader except for ARCs, so I'm going to be reading that ARC. And then in honor of Pride Month, I'm going to be reading, man, it's already scuffed, The Stonewall Reader, which is a Penguin but also New York Public Library edited collection. So this is a series of interviews and excerpts from books, kind of like pre, sort of during, and then post Stonewall. And I have a feeling I'm going to annotate this one, so I am bringing tools to do that. I also might work on my novel a little bit. I was supposed to do it today, but then I ended up hanging out with friends instead, which is great. So gonna live out my writer on a train fantasies, maybe write a little bit, looking out the window. So yeah, next you see me, I will likely be on public transit. my hotel room at the Heathman. I stopped filming at some point on the train because I got extremely motion sick. I was sitting backwards. I didn't know that was going to be a problem for me. And this did not happen when I was on the trains in Italy, but the train rides in Italy were also not that long. So I had planned to eat lunch, like I brought a packed lunch and everything, but I was far too nauseous to eat. So I was like standing up and walking around, and I was standing by the toilet in case I needed it. And my blood sugar crashed because I'd had a coffee, which I think was part of the reason my stomach was upset. So I was gonna eat and everything. I had a whole plan. I'm here now, I made it, and I'm gonna go get lunch and then go to Powell's. There is a restaurant here at the hotel, but they only do like breakfast and dinner, so I'm gonna go find a lunch spot. Oh, I am so glad to not be on the train anymore. My seatmate was very sweet. She was also feeling a little motion sick, so shout out to her. It's a beautiful day, and I'm happy to have finally made it. I'm glad that I was able to check into my hotel early, but I'm very ready to go walk around in the fresh air and get some food because I'm so hungry. It's several hours since I last filmed. I needed to decompress, take a nap, get changed. As you can see, I was very sweaty. It's really hot today. It's like 86 today. Luckily, it's gonna be cooler tomorrow. So I went out for lunch at Bullard's Tavern and then to Powell's. And it's funny because the streets were pretty quiet. Like, compared to downtown Seattle, where I work, it seemed quieter, but then the entire population of the city was in Powell's. It was so busy in there, which I love to see. Just overhearing people's conversations, and there was a little girl. She got into the kids section. She was like, wow, there's more books here than I can even look at, or something like that. It was adorable. I also met a woman on the train who complimented my shirt because I was wearing a Powell shirt earlier, and she said that it's her daughter's birthday, and for her birthday she wanted to go to Powell's, so they're taking the train down, and that's all she wanted to do. It was so cute. I showed my haul a little bit. I got this reusable bag because it was cheaper than a tote bag. I'll use it for groceries, but I saw lots of other people had it and I wanted in. So first I got the next book in the Crown of Stars series, Child of Flame by Kate Elliott. I almost got books 5 and 6, but one, I was going a little bit over budget, and two, they're really heavy. They're like 1,000-page books, and I realized that it would be so much easier to just get that on my e-reader. But this one it's around there. It's 900 pages, but it's a mass market paperback, and the others were trade paperback. But this was $6. And the nice thing about shopping here in Oregon as opposed to my home state of Washington is that there's no sales tax, so it's like getting 10% off. I got Dark Emu by Bruce Pascoe. I don't know how well you can see these books. It's about kind of Aboriginal Australian history and anthropology, and the author, who is himself Aboriginal, is showing all this evidence that Aboriginal society was not hunter-gatherer, but they had really sophisticated farming techniques and damming and other kind of things. And I know woefully little about Aboriginal history, so I'm excited to read this. And I also got it because I can't get it at my local library system. I can only get it at the Seattle library system, so it's not one that I could get easily. I actually don't know what I'm going to pull out, so it's kind of a surprise. Oh, New Sons 2. This is a anthology that I've read the first book of, which, like any anthology, was kind of spotty. It felt like all the good ones were in the first half. But this is edited by Nisi Shawl, an author that I really like, who is actually local to me in Seattle. They're a Black non-binary author, and these are all original sci-fi fantasy stories by BIPOC authors. And I especially wanted this because on my summer library book bingo, there's a square that is a BIPOC Pacific Northwest author, so I'm going to read this for that. And you'll see in an upcoming vlog that I'm gonna talk more about that bingo. And then last, oh yeah, so this is the only new book that I got. The rest were used, which is how I was able to like keep to a good budget. So this is Floodlines by Salim Haddad. And I found out about this recently, and I'm saving it for an upcoming vlog because I found it in a book blog that I like, and I'm going to do a video where I read books that I found from blogs to like highlight and celebrate book blogs. So this is by an Iraqi author, and it's a multi-generational story, which I love, and one of the family members is queer, and I think it's set in like both England and Baghdad. So I think it'll be the first book that I've read by an Iraqi author. After Powell's, which I spent just as much time in as I could, but like I wasn't looking to buy a ton of books. I mean, you've probably seen my videos that I buy books, but I really do get a lot of books from the library. There was nothing so pressing that I needed to buy, so I then checked out Grand Gesture Books, which is a all romance bookstore, and I was looking for a KJ Charles book, which they didn't have. I don't really have that many romance books on my TBR anymore, honestly. And then I went to Ben & Jerry's to get ice cream because it was really hot. I'm gonna go down to the hotel lobby and finally check out the library because I haven't done that yet. And I don't know that I'm gonna leave the hotel again tonight. I'm just kind of gonna take it easy, probably eat at the hotel restaurant and just read and chill out. Oh, and where'd it go? Holding up my e-reader to illustrate a book on my e-reader. I'm reading My Arc of the Scarlet Ball by Nevo, which is a full-length Nevo novel. I'm about 4 chapters, 12% in. So this is set in the Gilded Age of New York, but like, I don't know that it's set in the same universe as those Great Gatsby retellings, so that's The Chosen and the Beautiful and Don't Sleep with the Dead. But it's very similar in that it's, I don't even know what to call it. It's like urban fantasy or just our world, but just a little bit different, a little bit more magical. Magic's kind of like accepted and everyday. It's quite like sharp and brutal so far, kind of in the way that City of Glass was. Very different from the Singing Hills cycle. God, she has the range. So the main character is Vietnamese. Her name is Judith, and we know a little bit about her so far. She was a sex worker in Paris before she came to the US, and she worked at a hat shop. But in the first chapter, she is delivering a hat to this rich family's house, and she is hired to be a body double for their granddaughter who's gone missing, and the granddaughter is about to debut in society and to get a husband, and so the grandmother sews a face onto her that is white to stand in for her granddaughter and brings her to this dinner, and there's a lot of just like sinister fucked up shit going on, and Judith, like, she knows her worth, she's getting paid for this, and she's a great negotiator, like, she is a working woman, but it's also a very scary situation, and she's trying to figure out what's going on, and the grandmother, Mrs. Howard, is, like, not willing to give her all the details, but from the synopsis, I know that it's this kind of underground upper echelons of society where the women marry demons or like demon-like beings, and the like social season culminates in this event called the Scarlet Ball, and Judith is going to be expected to gain a monstrous husband for herself, or rather for the Howard granddaughter. But I love the effortless ways that Vo incorporates magic, and like in Siren Queen, and The Chosen and the Beautiful, it's so unexplained to us, and the narrator lives in the world and isn't gonna bother to explain to us like why these things are happening. Like in the first chapter, she is attacked by a roving pack of feral dogs on fire that are just a common occurrence in New York, and it's all so mundane to her. It's definitely more like brutal than I'm used to, but because it's Vo, I trust her, and the book is not without like its heart and softer moments so far. Like I really sympathize with Judith and I want her to survive this, and I expect that she's going to find like other sympathetic people to ally herself with. So when next you see me, I'm gonna go down and film in the lobby and do a little bit of reading of The Scarlet Ball. I went out for breakfast at this diner called the Daily Feast. It was so cute. They had this bar going like the length of the restaurant, and they were playing like 70s and 80s music. It was really fun. It was really good. I got a breakfast burrito, and I purposely got that so that I would have leftovers later. And they had fresh squeezed grapefruit juice that was so delicious. So I'm heading back to the hotel, and I'm gonna do a little bit of writing and then wait until Mox opens at 10. I'm pretty much gonna wrap this vlog up. I've got a few more minutes before I need to check out of the hotel room, so I'm gonna eat some leftovers from breakfast and probably head down back to the lobby, do a little bit more, I think, writing. I went to Mox Boarding House, the board game slash restaurant store, board game store slash restaurant, and they had a bunch of magic cards there, and there was someone who was so helpful and friendly. People talk about Seattle Freeze, and I don't know that I've noticed that, but I've definitely noticed it in contrast down here in Portland. Like, people seem friendlier and happier. You smile at someone on the sidewalk and they'll say hi. My friends are picking me up from the hotel to take me to our friend's place for the baby shower, and then I'm getting a ride back up with a different set of friends. So to thank them, aside from paying for gas, I got them some magic sets, since we've all gotten back into playing Magic. And then I got myself some Boombro packs because that's the deck that I have. Took the red wall set to get me into Magic. I'm, I think, a little over 40% of the way through The Scarlet Ball by Nevo, and it's continuing with Judith being in society, and just like the magic and little details that Vo really excels at are here. And she has met some people who are like sympathetic. It's funny because things that are in the blurb have not been revealed yet in the book, so I could wish that that blurb was differently written. So it's definitely spoiled some things for me. A sensible love interest, although the men in this book are like the physical embodiment of concepts, like a wildfire, a storm, and they are evil. The person courting Judith has not yet appeared, although I think that I have a suspicion who it's gonna be, but I am rooting for Judith to get as far away from the situation as possible. I might get a little bit more reading done, but then probably the rest of the day, as we're like traveling and stuff, I will not have the chance to read. All right, that was my bookish Portland vlog. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next week.